Hey there, Morbid Maniacs. It's time for another spooky video, a part of VLOGTOBER. And for tonight's spooky video, we're going to be talking about the legend of the Devil's Gate in Libertyville. Located in Libertyville, Illinois, along North River Road, along a path which is long and narrow. The left side is bordered by the Independence Grove Forest Preserve, while the right side is covered in houses. The only light at night are your car's headlights, as there are no street lights along it. There are also ponds which in the summer grow a heavy fog. 2 miles in, you will reach a horse ranch, as well as a menacing sight and what the locals know as the Gate, or the Devil's Gate. According to the legend, the gate was the entrance to an all-girls school back in the 1950s. The school was supposedly a place where wealthy parents would send their children to achieve a higher education. The school was a very nice place to send your children. That was until one night in the 1950s. This was when the school principal went absolutely insane and killed 4 of his students. The principal had completely lost his mind and, in a fit of rage, murdered the young girls. For unknown reasons, he went as far as to decapitate them and then would carry their heads to the gate, where he would place them on top of the spikes. The bodies of the young girls were never found. However, the principal was found and arrested for his crime. The authorities tried to keep this horrible incident a secret. However, the parents would refuse to send their children there. And it wasn't long before the school was shut down. The school was said to be shut down and demolished in the 1950s. As time went on, the murders were forgotten. And the story varies depending on which depiction you hear. In another depiction of the story, there was an insane asylum which was nearby, where a crazed lunatic would escape, go into the school, and have his way with the young girls. The property would soon be turned into a sleepaway camp for boys. Things were going swell in this camp until 1963. This was when 4 young boys went missing from their tent. In the dark, the counselors searched up and down for them, but there was no trace of them anywhere. As daytime approached, the counselors decided to look around the gate, and when they did, they spotted a horrifying sight, as there, on top of the spikes of the gate, were the boys' heads. Their body was never found, and their killer was never identified. The police suspected that one of the camp counselors was responsible for the crime. However, they had no evidence to go off of. After the murders, the camp was forced to shut down and has been sitting abandoned and vacant ever since. Legend states that the gate is now haunted by the children who lost their lives there. People passing by the gate late at night claim to hear the sounds of children screaming and crying. Others witness blood running down the wrought iron supports of the gate. It's said that if you visit the gate at midnight on the anniversary of the murders, you will see the phantom heads of the young girls and boys, which will appear on the rusted spikes. Their eyes will stare at you, and their mouths will be moving, stretching wide open as if they are silently screaming. Some have witnessed a small boy walking and staring from behind the fence. He has been seen on numerous occasions. However, there are no historical records proving that there were mass murders which took place there. The North River Road is an experience all in itself. Earliest owners date back to 1846 and include farmers William Boardman and Solomon Kelsey. The gate's history begins with Britton I. Budd, who was a Chicago Railroad executive and president of the Public Service Company. His wife, Catherine, was well known for her work with disadvantaged children. After Catherine's death in 1925, Budd bought 200 acres of land along Des Plaines River with the purpose of building a summer camp for children from St. Mary's Orphanage. The Catherine Cree Budd Memorial Home for Children was soon established in June 27th of 1926. This camp would consist of 15 buildings including dormitories, a dining hall, a recreation hall, a chapel, an infirmary, and an outdoor swimming pool and playground. Also known as Doddridge Farm, this camp was built for orphaned girls. It was also used by an clergy as an annual retreat location, and by other groups such as the Illinois Emergency Relief Commission, who would bring in women for relief during the Great Depression in the early 1930s. In the late 1930s, the camp was rented out by the Boy Scouts of the Episcopal Church, who later sold the property to the Catholic Church and the Catholic Youth Organization, so the camp facilities could be more utilized. The Ladies of the Grail was set to establish their U.S. headquarters at Doddridge Farm in 1940. The organization was tasked with preparing the camp buildings first for war refugees, then for summer camps for children. The ladies who worked there were strongly dissatisfied, however, when repairs became known, it was at this point they left in 1943. It was then that the CYO took over running the camp, followed by Catholic Charities in 1954. In 1955, the Franciscan Brothers would turn the building and the grounds into St. Francis's Boys Camp until 1973. The camp was open to girls until 1979, when the camp closed for good and the buildings were demolished. Still to this day, volunteers have been working to restore the land to its natural state. Today, the land is known as St. Francis's Woods and is connected to the Independence Grove through the Des Plaines River Trail. In 1943, a watchman from Doddridge Farm was arrested for armed robbery, where he would escape from the Lake County Jail but would do no harm to anyone. In 1961, a 2-year-old boy drowned in the Des Plaines River. It's said that either 2 men who had been searching for the boy's body had found him, or a dog of theirs which led them to him. In 2002, a woman's remains were discovered on the property. It was found that the remains were disposed of by her husband, who worked at a nearby stable, and who confessed to her murder in 2008. Today, all the remnants of the old structures are gone, and all that remains are foundations, rusted metal, and glass bottles. Regardless whether or not these stories are true, it makes for one very haunting tale. And if you believe in the stories and just so happen to visit the gate at night, it's said that you should be very careful, as the area is said to have a strange effect on people's minds. It's believed that if you stay in the area of the gate for too long, you will find yourself or friends acting in a bizarre manner. You could even find your head on top of the rusty spikes. So there is the story of the Devil's Gate in Libertyville, Illinois. What do you guys think of this creepy legend? Would you ever visit there for yourself? Do you believe that this is real? There's actual historical records which prove that there was actually a school and, you know, a camp and stuff there. There's no actual historical records which prove that murders took place there. However, it doesn't mean that the legend isn't true, because I've always been a big believer that every legend stems from something. So like the legend had to have came from something. But let me know what you guys think of this creepy story, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a morbid maniac. Be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.